This film also had the creepiest Santa. And you could,
oh my god, yeah! We need to find the fourth dimension, and by finding all these tiny little perfect things that happen in our neighborhood or in our town or whatever, we're gonna find the fourth dimension, and we're missing one. I'll pick Andrew Garfield. Peter 3.
Peter 3.
Ooh, that comic book filter.
This green ball?
This green tennis ball is Vecna, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're talking about Chippendales the dancers, right? Not Chippendales the chipmunks? Okay, I was just making sure. I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about.
Let me just,
Today's podcast sponsored by 2 liter of Pepsi and the peach mango splash refresher bullshit, whatever the fuck it's called at drink at McDonald's.
That sounds way better.
Right?
I'm only drinking Pepsi just because no one else in my family drinks it, so I'm just trying to get rid of it by drinking it myself.
No waste. See, no waste. We don't waste here on the podcast.
Right? Although, random question before we jump in. Are you a Coke or a Pepsi gal?
I am neither. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
No, I mean, okay, well, hey cinema peeps, welcome to the podcast. Here we are. We're gonna start off with a Coke versus Pepsi debate. Or this is just a story of mine. When I was little, I, for whatever reason, was very severely, not severely, but I was traumatized by the carbonation of drinks, so I didn't like carbonated drinks. The most I could do was orange pop from McDonald's, which was like
fucking shit. Like, come on, man. It's so fucking good.
And it was so flat that it didn't bother me. But so I've always either drank that as a kid, or then I started reverting to iced tea, and so that's why I'm such a big fan of iced tea and other juices, is because I just never really adapted a taste for either. But I'll drink it the odd time. Like I like it in like a float or mixed with something.
Yeah.
Like for an alcoholic beverage or whatever. But yeah, I don't just like crave. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a nice cold Coke or a Pepsi or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I always crave Coke Zero.
Yeah?
My body just craves it. I'm like,
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. So yeah, I guess in the Coke Pepsi debate, I am Coke.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, in a sense, like yeah, I guess they taste slightly different, but they are essentially just burnt syrup. You know?
When
like
you
their
think about
ingredient,
it.
like their essence is pretty much the same. They're a dark carbonated drink, but for some reason I just prefer the taste of cola.
Is that all it is? Is just burnt sugar and water with a little bit of, like...
Well, you know what?
Caffeine?
Carbonated water, sugars, acid, caffeine, citrus acid, and caramel natural flavor.
Oh, yes, there's caramel. Okay, yeah.
Burnt sugar.
burnt sugar. It's what our society runs on.
Bro, it's so good, though. Burnt sugar is so good. Oh, but yeah, sorry, random tangent. But I was just telling Kendra, we totally flew by I think it's our 3rd anniversary of the podcast.
Yeah, I think that's right, because we
would try to do something.
We would try to do something, but it's confusing because we're in our 4th. We determine it by seasons, so our 4th season of the podcast, but it's the 3rd year that we've been doing it. I think we need to.
I think we're bad on math. I think that's what it is. I think we're bad on math.
Relook at our math on that, but
maybe we're gonna check it out, folks. We're gonna figure it out. Because I know the one year we did like our favorite moments.
Yes, that was the first year.
Yeah, and then I think the second time we reviewed old Talkie Tuesdays. I think.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, I don't think we've done a 3rd thing.
I don't think we have either. Stay tuned.
So maybe we've only been doing... So yeah, we've been doing the podcast then for 3 years.
Well, that would make sense, because we started doing it during COVID.
Right.
It's been 3 years,
with a random bonus episode in 2019.
Yeah.
When we were first trying to figuring it out.
It was the beta version, the beta test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we want to go by that, then yeah, we're closer to 4. But yeah, I think that, although, yeah, I don't know how we determined... Yeah, we're bad at math, I think is what we're gathering. We are just terrible at math.
I feel
yes.
like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the way we've been doing it with the seasons seems to be a bit easier, and then just like celebrating how long we've been a channel it's a little bit easier, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Oh, light in the
Either way,
eyeball.
though, happy 3 years to Talkie Tuesdays podcast.
Yay! And thank you for everyone who listens, comments, and likes. We really appreciate it.
You the real MVP.
Real MVP! I mean, we did something pretty exciting over the weekend. Do we want to talk about it?
I think we should dive into it. Heck yeah.
Calgary Expo!
Woot woot.
Good times had by all.
Hell yeah. I feel like this is... Maybe not. I was going to say, I feel like this is the first time we've done 2 cons in 1 year, but there's been times where we've done the Edmonton con, too, and the Calgary con at the same time.
Yeah. So if we do Edmonton, it'd be 3. And then it would be...
Toronto? No.
I wish, but probably not.
Right? Yeah. Too expansive.
Yes, expansive, because at that point I would want to make it like a Toronto trip.
Yeah.
Like seeing stuff. But like weirdly, Calgary and Toronto, again, I guess it's not weirdly because they're both all run by the Fan Expo, that they all have very similar guests. So it's
True.
very hard to justify to be like, yeah, I want to go to Toronto, unless there's like somebody you really, really, you're like, oh, they're never going to come. I need to see them. Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to make that. Sorry, the light on my hair. the light is
it's
back.
It's like a laser light show in your room.
Right? Pew! I need some smoke or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to justify the cost to go out to Toronto.
Yeah.
It's a pipe dream.
It
I
is.
mean, also big, I think even bigger pipe dreams to one day actually go to the San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh. I don't know if I could do it. I would love to if I knew it wasn't going to be as hectic as I've been told.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a shit show.
Oh yeah.
But just to say I've done it once, like, I'd be pretty happy. And again, that'd be something also I'd want to, because I've never been down there, so I'd be like, yeah, let's go see the Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz. Like, I'd want to make it like a full...
Go to the San Diego Zoo.
Yeah, like a week and a half even trip, just, to do other things as well.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But that's one day.
One day in the future.
I should know this, but I don't really know when it happens.
I think it's in the summertime because everybody always looks so tan, and they all got their sunnies on, and they're like, some of the panels are outside and on cruise ships and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Then again, this is California we're talking about, so that just could be all year round. But I'm assuming it's like June or July.
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, that's definitely an even bigger pipe dream than Toronto. I guess if I had the choice, I'd probably rather go to spend the money at San Diego than Toronto. But,
Again, if I knew it wasn't going to be super duper overwhelming, as I've been told, then again, everybody's different. So maybe their version of being overwhelmed might not be as bad for me. But I'd have to figure that out for myself.
Yeah, and I think either way, like, even sometimes at Calgary can be a sensory overload, so.
Mm-hmm. And I'd like to hope that, because this was like way pre-COVID, that a couple of my friends had gone to San Diego Comic-Con and then told us about it. So I'd like to hope that since COVID, they've maybe, organized it a bit better. So that, because the way they made it sound, it was like you had to line up at the crack of dawn just to get into panels, just to get to line up for like certain celebrities. And it was just like a mob of people. Like, you had to fight to get everywhere, basically. Whereas, like, I mean, we still have to push, at Calgary Comic-Con, we still kind of have to, like, we're like a bunch of sardines in a can, or it's like you go with the flow of the river. Everybody, like, flow of traffic stuff. But it sounds like from what they had said, it was like you literally had to, like, push and shove your way through everybody just to get where you wanted to go.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, well, I'd still do it. Like I said, to me, it's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah, true.
I could never justify going more than once.
Yeah.
But,
and you get to see all the cool new trailers and stuff, so that'd be kind of fun.
Right? Like stuff like that, I think would be very exciting.
Totally.
But anyways, but we only went to Calgary, so I guess we'll talk about our experience at Calgary Expo.
Which, I mean, I don't know who deemed it that way, but I would say from my own experience, Calgary is probably one of the top. I'd say Calgary and Toronto are like the events of the year for Canada as far as Comic-Cons go.
Yeah.
Because Vancouver was quite chill. Edmonton's usually pretty chill.
Yeah.
There used to be like a Saskatchewan one, I think, at one point. I don't know if that exists anymore.
No, I think once Fan Expo bought them out, I think that one disappeared. Yeah. And there was a random one in Red Deer for one day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
One day, one in Red Deer.
Yeah.
We'll always have those memories. But yeah, Calgary, I wouldn't say back in full swing. I'd say just because there's still so much construction of the new building.
Yes.
But I feared that it would be more of an obstruction than it was, and it really wasn't.
No, I felt like I mean, there were lines, obviously, but I feel like everybody was able to kind of get in and out of everything fairly easily. It just, as I was saying to Zena while we were kind of walking around, I was like, it just sucks that whole section is kind of blocked off, because in the past, you could, like, you were free to walk through, like, the parking lot and, like, more closer down to the Saddle Dome. It wasn't just, like, cornered off in that area where we were.
Yeah. But at least it was nice that I guess either on the Friday or the Saturday they opened up that side area too, which was pretty nice. But yeah, I saw some people online were like, flow of traffic. Like, people were not a huge fan of it, but at the same time, there's only so much you can do when things are under construction. But unfortunately, it sounds like the C train station and the exterior of the building should be done this year. In theory. In theory, yeah. But the inside won't be done till 2025. So, even next year we won't experience the nice building, but at least by next year, maybe it'll be more open space to kind of walk around, and then the parking lot will be, because I guess the park only not quite half, but I guess part of the parking lot was closed down because of construction. So that would be nice. I think if I had to pick one complaint, I just wish they could get better fucking chairs for panels, because oh my god, did my butt hurt. Right? It's just they're the worst things on planet Earth, and they zip tie them together, and you're just like, these are just, ugh,
I know.
Come on.
Right? We were all pretty compact and squished together.
Right? You're pretty much, on top of your neighbor.
Yeah.
It's just, you have no choice.
Yeah.
So hopefully they like you. But yeah, I think if I had to pick a complaint, that was probably my biggest complaint. I hate those chairs. You can't, I don't know. Again, I don't know how much the Calgary Expo makes, but I'm sure they could shell out a couple extra dollars to have better chairs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right? Especially since, I mean, again, they weren't the greatest even at themselves, but when the corral was where all the big panels happened, it was kind of a nicer area. Kind of a nicer area to sit in, because you could at least, I guess, sit on top of somebody, but at least you had your own view. You weren't obscured by other people. Yeah. And it was somewhat spacious.
It was a nice place for panels. It was a nice place. So I'm hoping when this new building is done, we'll have better chairs.
Yeah.
Because me poor bum. Saturday, I just mostly watched panels, and me poor bum was like, what?
Yeah.
And I mean, my plan originally was to at least get up after every panel and walk around, but all the panels that day were so packed. The people beside me at one point, got up to stretch, and somebody was like, are those seats taken? I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I was like, I guess I'm not getting up. I turn around and sit down, and someone will be sitting on my seat.
Yeah. Be sitting in someone's lap.
Right. But, yeah, so that was kind of unfortunate, but, overall, lots of fun panels to see.
Yeah.
Who the fuck did I see?
Yeah, you saw more people than Zena and I did, because we were only down for the day. And yeah, you were down for the full weekend.
Yeah, so I think, the Thursday I saw David Ramsey's panel.
Nice.
And he also agrees that Legends need another season. So CW,
Yes.
get your fucking shit together.
Yep.
He also talked a little bit about the green box, even though I was like, just fucking drop it. I never want to hear about that fucking box ever again. But I mean, it kind of confirmed some of my suspicions, because he did imply that the fact that CW was getting sold and just more and more people got their hands on the project, that storyline clearly changed because of it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he meant it was, again, because I've dropped watching Superman and Lois. Apparently he might be playing the Green Lantern on there, so I'll have to figure that out. Maybe catch up and watch. Yeah, I'm way behind on
Superman and Lois, so I'll have to watch.
I think it's on Crave, so we can catch up on Crave.
Nice. I'm pretty sure I still have all the recordings in my PVR.
Nice. We were watching it on demand, so.
Nice. Usually
those go away after a year, so.
Yeah.
It's too bad, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing he talked about? What's the other thing? Oh, yeah, and he kind of talked a little bit because someone asked about, again, his Justice U show. And again, it kind of sounds like it's toast. It's not probably going to happen, so.
Dang.
He said, like, it could still happen within the Warner Brothers, like, universe. He just is like, there's no way it's going to be on CW, so.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks. But, I mean, he seems really happy, and he's, found a new passion in directing. He really, really likes doing it, so hopefully he'll continue to do it. So I was really happy.
Yay. There's a lot of people on the Arrowverse shows who have kind of found a passion for directing, like Katie Lutz, Danielle, Tom Cavanaugh, Diggle. There's a couple other people who've done some directing as well, too.
Right.
Yeah.
He said, like, once you, like, get behind the camera and you realize you can be even more creative than in front, like, it's so addicting. So.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I'm happy for all of them. I'm trying to remember. I think that's all I saw Thursday. And Friday... Did I see anybody Friday? Oh, I went to a Star Trek panel because my friends were there and I just needed to rest and then hurt my bum, I guess, on the chairs. And so one of the Star Trek guys also crashed. So I was happy for everybody who likes Star Trek, but for me, I was just kind of like, okay. Sure. And then, then I went to a My Hero Academia panel, which was really funny. Some anime panel.
Nice.
And then... that was Friday. And Saturday was the most panel heavy. Because I think literally in that main stage we saw Stephen Amell, I saw James McAvoy, Andy Serkis, and David Harbour.
Yep.
Which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
All of them pretty excellent panels. Right? Honestly, Andy Serkis just seems like such a funny guy and he just loves life. I was like, man, you're infectious. He's just sitting there having a great time. I was like, I wish I had a great time too. But that's why that fucking main stage was packed to the bone.
Oh yeah, totally. I get that.
Well, I did find it kind of weird at David Harbour's panel, because normally at the panels they'll, open it up for questions for fans to come up and ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't allow it at this panel. Because I remember seeing on their Instagram they were asking for people to submit questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of weird.
They must have, for whatever reason, they had to maybe try and filter out certain ones for whatever reason.
I mean, maybe, but I was also wondering because the host, I've only saw him during David Harbour's panel that weekend, and they had a couple like CBC journalists. So I don't know. Again, maybe they just aren't comfortable. Because I feel like that's also a special skill to be like, because some fans will ask questions and sometimes they make it very overly complicated. So it's good when the host can be like, kind of reiterates the question, but like, gets to the point kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just better with like interacting with fans. So again, for whatever reason, it was just kind of weird, but no, it wasn't that big deal. Oh, sorry. Speaking to not asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
So on Sunday, the only two panels I saw was Bonnie Wright's panel, Ginny Weasley from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And Sam Raimi. And for Ginny's panel, when the host came out, he was like, hey, and he did the usual housekeeping rules, but he did say like, hey, let's, keep it to the world of Harry Potter and not talk about, J.K. Rowling's and transphobia.
Right.
Which I thought was really nice because, I mean, like nobody likes her, at this point. Yeah. But, that's not on poor Ginny. or sorry, poor Bonnie. Like that's not on her. And so that was kind of nice. Now, granted, I don't know if anybody was going to ask those questions, but I am glad they were like, hey, let's, keep it a fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then just out of the blue, he's like, oh, hey, I talked to you backstage about Bonnie, and she announced, I guess, 2 days ago she's pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And she having a baby.
Wow.
My mind was a little blown. I was like, what? I was like, well, this is nuts. And then she's like, oh, yeah, and Daniel had his first child. And I'm like, what? Am I out of the loop? What the hell's going on?
They're all parents now.
Right? That's wild to see.
That's crazy. Yep.
And Sam Raimi's panel was fun. Although, I feel pretty stupid. I didn't realize him and,
Whose panel?
Sam Raimi's
Oh, Sam
panel.
Raimi. Okay, yeah.
I didn't realize him and Bruce Campbell went to high school together, and they've been making
really?
movies together since high school.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense.
I was like, that's why he's in all the films. That's so cool.
That's awesome.
So it was pretty fun, and of course he obviously got a lot of director questions, so they were chatting about that. Although sometimes I was like, is he making fun of that? Sometimes I was like, I don't know what the vibe is right now. What's happening?
Yeah.
But then he would smile at the end, so I'm like, I think everything's okay. Everything's okay. Because someone was asking, like, what was her question? It was something about, wanting to be a director. And what she could, and, just along those lines of, what can I do to, get into this career path? And he's like, well, do you know the difference between these lenses? And she's like, oh, I'm not sure. And he's like, you should already know. She's like, I'm 16.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay. Well, then he made a pretty funny joke about the lenses and stuff. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, do I know the difference? I feel pretty stupid right now. Am I failed? I don't know what's happening. What's going on? But it was all good fun, I think. And I liked so I guess he was also telling a story about how I guess in all his films he used his mom's car.
Oh, okay.
And I guess it's still kicking. And I guess that was the car that was used in the Evil Dead movies in the first two.
Oh,
was
yeah.
his mom's car. And I guess Bruce Campbell hates it. He wants it to be destroyed. He goes, he's like, I have 2 other replicas of that car, and they're all in different locations for safety reasons. But yeah, I feel like I've talked for way too long. Please share some stories from Expo, because I just feel like I've just moved my trap hole like this.
Just
and nothing pretty much, and nothing of value came out of my mouth hole.
Oh, I learned that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell went to high school together. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Boom.
Let's see. Well, I mean, we didn't do we tooled around. We walked around, looked at a bunch of stuff. I bought some teas from the tea hippie vendor. I actually had the Dean's cherry pie tea today, and it was delicious. I had it hot, but it is the type of tea that you can have hot or cold. And so Fancy. I have my little iced tea steeper, so I'm going to have to try it as an iced tea later on.
Fancy.
Yeah, and the chocolate frog one, too. I haven't tried it yet, but it sounds really good. And if it is as good as I hope it's going to be, I can also turn it into an iced tea and add milk to it. Ooh. And make it like iced tea latte. It'll be all chocolatey and milk, so I'm excited to try that.
Ooh.
Right. But we had some of the Calgary cookie dough from the cookie dough food truck that was there.
Yum.
And we did a lot of celebrity stalking. We snuck a sneaky picture of Lou Ferrigno for my dad because he's a fan of Lou Ferrigno. And he was coming out of his booth to go take a break. So he kind of walked in front of us and then started walking ahead of us. So we were walking behind him, and I was just like tick, 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 tick.
You sneaky girl, you sneaky girl.
And then I apparently got a lot of pictures of people's backsides, because I got his backside, and then I got the selfie of Zena with Diggle's backside when we were standing in line for Steven.
Yes. Oh yeah, we stood in line and got another picture with Steven.
Yeah, we got a selfie. We'll put it here.
Yeah. Beautiful. And the exhibitors, there were this exhibitor this year that had sloths. And
live sloths.
They said they were wombats. I keep fucking
wallabies, I think.
That's what that's what my friend said, but I saw the sign on the exhibitor thing, and it definitely says kangaroo. So I'm going to go with kangaroo because that's what the sign says.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But they brought over a little albino kangaroo and the sloth. And Steven's like, hold up. My daughter's favorite animal is a sloth. So I have to FaceTime. And we're like, take your time.
Yeah, it was so cute. And I think because, too, we had seen his panel previous to lining up to get a selfie. And so during his panel, he kind of ended it off. One of the fans asked a question, something to do with kids or parenting or something. I can't remember what it was, but he basically deferred it to, he kind of like went off topic a little bit by saying, I just wanted to share the story with everybody. My 9-year-old daughter has been kind of really reserved and quiet lately, and we discovered that she's being bullied at school. She's getting picked on and being called weird because she likes unicorns and pink. And so, of course, the whole audience was like, what? Oh, man, no. Mm-hmm. And he was basically saying to her that, like, you know what? It's okay to be weird. I'm weird. I'm a 41-year-old man who still loves WWE wrestling. We're all weird. And then he like, looks at the audience and he's like, and if you're not weird, I don't like you. So I thought hearing that story beforehand and then coming to his table and watching him FaceTime Mavi to show her favorite animal, I thought that was just so cute. I'm like, oh, you're such a good dad.
But man, that sloth was moving.
Oh yeah, he was really moving.
I think it was feeding time, and he was just like, meh. I was really hoping, I was like, maybe the sloth can be in the selfie too, but alas.
I was waiting for it to climb. Like, I thought maybe they'd let him climb on Steven's arm or whatever.
Right? I was like, come on, guys, do it.
That'd be so funny.
Come on! But, alas, no, but that's okay. We got to see up close and personal the sloth, so it was a lot of fun. It was very Gucci.
It was awesome. It was a good moment.
But yeah, you guys came at one of the busiest days, Saturday.
Yep.
And I made sure, I was like, I'm doing no shopping. Just autographs and panels. There's no way I'm shopping on Saturday.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people were like, hey, it was really busy. Guys should fix that. And I'm like, unfortunately, I think that's just kind of the expo. Like,
that's the experience, yeah.
Could it be better? Sure, but at the same time you have to realize that of course Saturday is going to be busy. That's when everybody has it off. The expo also, I guess, at 2:00 sold extra tickets so people could get in and experience the expo for an arm and a leg price, but you know whatever. But and again with the construction and everything, like it's like I don't know.
Well, because like we went into Artist Alley, which was in a completely separate building. And the traffic in there was roughly decent. Like, to me, it reminded me of just, like, the first time I went to Comic-Con, where it was busy, but you could still walk around and look at stuff without feeling like you had to shuffle past quickly or, like, you really had no chance to look at anything. Whereas, obviously, in the actual BMO Center, it was like you had to get sucked along with the flow of everybody else and try your hardest to either play Frogger through the crowd to get to whatever side you wanted to get to, or
Frogger.
You were just, gone with the wind. But I don't know. I feel like maybe, I mean, I'm not the organizer of the Calgary Expo, but maybe I guess for convenience-wise, I can see why they did it the way it was. And again, obviously with construction, but I feel like they almost should put like the autographs and photo ops in a separate building or even just like its own separate area so that like all the shopping's done in one big place and it maybe will help space out the traffic a bit better.
Yeah.
Not by much, but because obviously it depends on how many people are there, but yeah.
Right. And like, yeah, because like I just don't know what else, like to me that's just one of the problems, like I just don't think Expo can do a whole lot about to fix it. The only thing I suggest is Kaylee's Fun Tips and Tricks are coming to Expo. So, tip number 1. I don't know who didn't tell you this, but ticket pickup has always been the big 4. Do not go to the main building and be surprised that you have to go somewhere else, people.
And let me add on to that by saying, make sure you pick up your tickets beforehand if you can.
Yes.
Because holy crap, the line on Saturday for picking up your tickets was bonkers. So I'm so glad that Zenna and I picked up our tickets on Friday.
Right? If you can, try to pick up those tickets early, baby. I will say, though, on that, the Expo probably should have a little bit better signage for that.
Yes.
Because there was one sign that was very confusing, so it looked like you could, because they you had to enter in through like the back side of the Big Four building, but there was a sign that looked like it was pointing to the door to the front. So that was a little poorly constructed.
Yeah.
And even like having signs along the way. Hey, do you have your fucking pass? No? Turn the fuck around, motherfucker.
Also on that note, shout out to the volunteers and all the people who like are there, because half the time they end up being the ones to either stand up on a pedestal or scream at the top of their lungs to get people's attention, to be like, hey, stop fucking around. This is what we're doing. You need to listen to what we're saying. Or, you know, if because there's a lot of times they have to wing it and just like make executive decisions. So again, shout out to them for having to make executive decisions, because half the time they don't even know what they're doing too. They were told to do a job and all of a sudden they have to do 6 other jobs. So,
right. Kudos. Yeah. Agree. Or ditto. Kaylee's fun expo tip number 2. When walking around the BMO Center or the fucking Big Four, go, like, do not stop in the middle of the aisle. If you must, for, say, example, oh, I want to look at some art, or I want to see what this table has to offer, or, oopsie, I think I need to XYZ, don't care. Move yourself off the main drag so everyone can keep moving forward. Because, God, there was a man who just stopped in the middle to take a photo of his comic. And you know what, sir? If that was a comic you were, like, really looking forward to getting, like, kudos, but get the fuck out of there. Like, come on, people. Just some simple etiquette, and we can all, and I guess to tack onto that, just have a little bit of patience. Right. Everybody, we just gotta have a little bit of patience.
Yep.
We're packed, like Kendra said, we're packed in there like sardines. Have a little patience. Sorry, what were my tips? Yeah, pick up tickets at the Big Four. Don't walk like an idiot.
Don't stop in the middle.
Don't stop middle, and just like be prepared. Okay.
Be prepared.
I'm gonna just throw this out here again. For veterans, make sure you have cash. Cash is key. Okay. So if you can, and because again, I understand people live very busy lives and maybe don't have time, but don't get cash at the ATM at the BMO Center, okay? Because first of all, lineups. But second of all, it's kind of a fucking ripoff because they charge like an arm and a leg for you to take out your own money. So like, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and autographs are cash only. I had to experience this, which is kind of weird for me. I experienced a couple people walking up being like, I don't have cash. And I'm like, but again, I will say Expo needs to have
signage.
Like in that case, I feel like you could put up a couple big signs that say, hey, autograph area, cash only. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't even know if they have it in their frequently asked questions online.
They do.
Do they? Oh, okay.
They do.
You've heard it here first, people.
Right? And again, because again, like all these things I complain about, I do have to remember that maybe for some maybe the person I'm angry at, the man who's just standing in the middle of the way, the lady who didn't bring cash in front of me to buy an autograph, that maybe this is their first time going to Expo. So again, I have to remind myself of patience.
Yeah.
So veterans, we must have patience for the newbies. But at the same time, newbies, you've now been informed, you're no longer newbies.
You have no excuse.
Exactly. I guess to wrap it up, I want to show you a couple things I got.
Yeah.
I got to show you.
Yes, I would love to see.
So I got this little guy on Sunday. He's a little...
Oh, a little Demogorgon.
Yeah. And look at his mouth.
That's awesome.
It's just so cute.
So cute.
I think this was the same vendor I got my Niffler last year.
Nice.
And then, I have to show you the other yarn thing I got. Because I think you'll really like it.
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nice.
And he's got a little bow.
Aww.
He has no arrows, but he has his little thing.
Cute.
Very cute.
Well, it's very accurate then, because technically Stephen Amell did say during his panel, sorry to crush everybody's dreams, but I don't actually shoot arrows in the show because it's very dangerous.
Right. Although, to be fair, like, I don't mean to humble brag, but we were on the set of Arrow once, and I'm pretty sure they told us then.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? I got some, what are they called? Nano blocks. They're not Lego, but I got myself some Lego.
Cool.
Sorry, Nanobot, whatever the fuck it is. I found this little cute print from Overcooked that I played a lot during the panorama.
Nice. Aw.
They're very adorable. And then my friend, I don't know, I can't believe I didn't miss this, but my friend found a vendor that did the Hex Girls.
Ooh, nice.
So she got me one of those. And
Awesome.
I was like, that's so awesome. I can't believe I didn't see it. I bought a super healthy amount of Pokemon cards.
Oh my god. Yes.
Got a little stack there. Which I'm so excited
For
to
anybody
open up.
who doesn't know, Kaylee has challenged herself to open up a pack of Pokemon cards every day for the whole year, and her Instagram account is Trainer Neowolf.
Hells yeah.
Go follow her and check out her
Hell yeah.
unpackings because they're lots of fun to watch. I know nothing. Oh my god, that is
A
insane.
super healthy amount of Pokemon cards.
I know nothing about Pokemon and Pokemon cards, but I just love watching you unfold all the cards because I'm like, ooh, pretty, shiny. Ooh, pretty, shiny.
Me too. I'm like, yeah, shiny! Love it! So yeah, super healthy amount of Pokemon cards. And to round off the Pokemon cards, I got a little bit of...
Oh, a cookie. Is it a cookie?
Yeah, it's a cookie! Squirtle! Oh no, Squirtle's got a crack in him.
Oh no, Squirtle.
He got a little crack in him.
Oh no. It's
Oh,
okay,
so did
Squirtle. We're all a little
so
cracked.
did Right? So did Charmander.
Those are so cute.
That's okay. You're going right in my belly.
The talent.
Soon. Right?
The talent.
I can't remember. The guy, I don't know if he works with the cookie company that makes the cookies or because sometimes they just have friends or whatever that help run the booth.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, these are our less complicated cookies. And I'm like, bro, what? What do you
Yeah.
mean less complicated? Not those ones, but there was another set of cookies there on the other side of the table. He was like, these are the less complicated ones. I'm like, what do you mean less complicated? They're like beautifully detailed. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Dang.
To me, a complicated cookie is, wow, I did 3 colors on this one cookie.
Right?
I'm a fucking god. Ooh, but yeah, that was some of our spoils and our stories. But overall, I had fun.
Right?
How about you?
I did. I honestly, there's only
Good,
ever
good,
been,
good.
I think there's only ever been one year where I just did not have a good time at Expo, and it's been labeled forever awkward con.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've told you about it. Yeah, there's lots of things went wrong. Lots of things were very let down and disappointing. So it was forever deemed awkward con, and it's the only time I've ever not enjoyed myself at a convention. That being said, comparing Vancouver to Calgary,
Ooh.
I would say I enjoyed how chill Vancouver was because I feel like we could just kind of walk up to all the tables and just have some nice casual conversations with the guests. That being said, I preferred how the panels were set up better at Calgary because I felt like there wasn't competing sounds, so you could still you could enjoy the whole panel and hear everything. You weren't trying to like struggle to hear. Obviously, the space is bigger for Calgary. There's more to look at, which I find, which is interesting. It's kind of interesting how each con has its own different vibe because I felt like, for me at least, there was more people dressed as anime characters and video game characters that I've never heard of or seen. And a lot of, like, the vendors were that way, too. Whereas in Calgary, it's kind of a mix of everything. Like, I could see a bunch of cosplayers who were, like, from movies or TV shows or whatever, video games and stuff like that. And there was a lot of variety for things to shop with. It wasn't just, like, all stuff that I had no idea what it was. But,
Right. Yeah. Definitely Vancouver was way more chill, but I think in the same sense I liked, since it was our first time, I liked how it was a little more laid back.
Yeah, same.
And again, like, I'm just now used to, I think, Calgary craziness, you know, so.
It adds to the experience.
Exactly.
It's a fun
Always
time.
does. Always does.
Right?
But I think that'll do it for today's episode.
I think so.
Apparently I'm going to bed.
I made it through the whole podcast standing. So, look, this challenge is going to be a piece of cake, hopefully.
She says now.
Yeah, she says now.
I remember feeling that confident about something, and then my whole world crashed down.
All of a
So.
sudden, you're like, oh, I'll be down.
Pretty much.
I'll be, like, back over here next time. Just...
Yeah. Hi guys, thanks. Thanks. Whatever the fuck. Yeah. We wrap this shit up. My glutes are killing me.
I'm just going to be laying down next time.
Oh, hell yeah. A podcast where we just lay in our beds.
Hell
Done.
yeah.
Done. I'll figure out how the setup is. I'll figure out how to set up on
perfect.
my end.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, Sid Miguel sleepover. That's what we said we're gonna do. Sid Miguel sleepover.
That'll be what we do for our 3-year celebration.
Sleepover
party.
Yay! But anyways, yeah, I don't have any recommendations just because busy with Expo.
Yep.
I guess my recommendation is you should go out to Expo one time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't recommend going Saturday, but Sunday's way more chill.
If you feel you can survive it. I say try to at least experience a weekend for your first time, because that's what I did, and that really helped solidify my enjoyment of wanting to go again. Obviously, go when there's people you want to see. That helps add to it as well.
Yeah.
Go with friends. Cosplay if you want to. That can be fun, especially when there's a lot of space to, like, go and pose with, like, other people. I remember there was one year a group of friends and I all dressed up as characters from The Walking Dead, and my dad came dressed as Abraham. And we found a Daryl Dixon who was walking around, and he was, like, a really, like, it was a good, legit cosplay. So all of us, like, got together and took, like, this big group photo of all of us, and it was awesome.
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks guys for watching. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you have any comments, have you ever been to Calgary Expo or any other expos or any other kind of conventions? Leave it down in the comments down below. Let us know what that experience was like. And don't forget to leave a deuce if you know, you know. And consider subscribing to 2 pretty cool gals, in my opinion. But anyway, cinema peeps, hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see ya. Oh yeah, and watch all the content, even though we're clearly not right now, but watch all the content, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Monkey.
Monkey.